Hi, mommies, and welcome to Wise Woman Wednesday. I'm so happy to be here with Kerry Ingram, founder of Mothering Arts and a dear friend and colleague of mine. Welcome, Kerry. Thank
Thanks,
you
Steph.
for being here and joining me for this chat today. So this month in July, I am really excited to be deepening into this theme of balance. And when I was thinking of women who kind of embody a balanced life, Kerry came to mind instantaneously because I've been in Kerry's home. I've seen her with her beautiful boy, Francis, and her husband. And while life isn't perfect, for me, balance is something that, Kerry, you embody. So I would love to hear your insight into how one can create balance in a life that may feel a little topsy-turvy at times.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question and a great conversation that has a lot of value in it. And yeah, I can just dive right in, or I can introduce myself a little more just
Yeah,
about what I do.
you can do that. Yeah, let's start with that.
Yeah, so I'm Kerry. Thank you for the warm introduction. And I love that you've probably sat in this seat a few
No,
times.
I love that too. I know exactly where you are. Exactly.
Yeah, and I'm really devoted to uplifting the postpartum journey, and the postpartum journey doesn't stop in the first few weeks. We're going to be postpartum as mothers our whole life, and I do this. My devotion to uplift this postpartum journey. I do this in a variety of ways. I teach and mentor women how to create local, in-person, heart-to-heart, intergenerational gatherings. In fact, mentored Belle on that
Yeah.
and many others worldwide. And I also teach a lot about rhythm and how to create a home rhythm, because I find that so much of our feelings of imbalance can be solved and nurtured by creating a home rhythm. And it's not a rigid thing. It's not attached to the clock kind of method. It's here's what comes before and here's what comes next. It's that simple, is knowing, I wake up and I brush my teeth, or I wake up and I walk out and start breakfast, knowing what comes first and what comes next. And of course, there's the realm of time, these clocks that we're on, but knowing inside where we're going. It's like having a little compass in our hands. So, rhythm really is a sense of security. It's a sense of all is well. I know what's coming next. There's a little bit of predictability, even if that predictability is saving a time to be unpredictable and spontaneous. Knowing that that time exists and then protecting it. Knowing that, for instance, for us in the summer, we have to have spontaneous time because, the school year, there's a lot of, our work schedules and school schedules. It's important to our family to let it go and have a different rhythm in the summer. So I'd love to talk about the bigger picture of, the rhythm of the year, and then maybe a rhythm of the week, and maybe a daily rhythm, just a little snapshot of each, and how that these parts of the whole, because we are the whole, we hold all of the rhythm inside of us. We're the fulcrum for the scale. How it really creates a sense of balance and ease, because we all want it to be easier.
Yes, easier.
Yeah,
Amen.
yeah. So just to touch on the year, that there is a rhythm. We're all attached to this rhythm because we live on Earth. We're all Earthlings, and there are these cosmic rhythms, and there's the easiest rhythm, I think, is the rhythm of nature. These seasons that are predictable, that every year we know the leaves will fall off of some trees, and we know some things will sprout. And in the summer, we have a nest of mourning doves that you might be able to hear right now that coo all morning. So the seasons are a great way to start. When you look at the year, we know that every year we are going to see these changes right outside of our window. And oftentimes it can be a reflection of what's happening inside. You know, in the winter, I always feel cozier. I want to stay in a little bit more. I'm more reflective. I take out activities like knitting and drawing, and I do more reading in the winter. That does not happen in the summer. There's no knitting to be found in my house this summer. Instead, there's a wild garden in the side yard that takes up a lot of our time and efforts. But these seasons really give us a chance to be the creator of our family culture. Because what are these things? What are the birthdays? How are they celebrated? What are the holidays and traditions and festivals in your family? And how do you uniquely celebrate them? So maybe it's some things from your own childhood that you want to bring forth, some traditions that really made an impact to you that you remember. For instance, for me, our Christmas Eve dinner was always a very big deal in our family. There was fancy silverware that was out that wasn't out any other time of the year. There were extra tiny forks and dishes, and what are these things even used for? There was an artichoke, and it was the only time we would eat artichoke. It was kind of I grew up in upstate New York, so they didn't grow there. So thinking of those things from childhood and what you want to share in your own family life. And then also, if you are partnered, or of course, so much changes in our lives when we come into adulthood, what do we want to create? Do we have a tradition that we would like to share with our child? Does our partner have a stream from his or her childhood that they want to share as well? So this is an opportunity to create a rhythm, but really what's behind it is our own family culture, our own unique art of mothering or parenting. So thinking of the how behind the what of these seasonal traditions. And it's also a great way to speak in time to children, because children are so in this world of images and imagination. So for instance, my son says, "When is my birthday?" And before he could really understand dates, I would say, "Oh, your birthday is when the peaches are ripening," or "Daddy's birthday is when the daffodils are blooming." And you go to kindergarten when the apples are ripe. Things that he can really notice outside. And also these little markers of the first hummingbird of the season or the first crocus. They really are heralding this change, this rhythm, and to pause and celebrate and relish and take notice of these little things can really create this rhythm of the season. So there's all of that outer stuff that's cueing us, inspiring us to create an inner feeling and an inner invitation to celebrate. And also, thinking of the bigger season. What is the gesture of winter or autumn or spring or summer? For us, summertime, we let so much go. I put on an auto response on my email that, "Sorry, I'm not getting back to you in a timely way. Try again in the fall." I unplug for a lot of the summer, and we have days that are rooted in fun. Like we have water day, hiking day. We have local tourist day where we explore around. So it's really just this opportunity to create something that's aligned with your family values, this seasonal rhythm. And also to know that you don't have to hold it together all year round. That feeling in autumn where I just feel like there's work to be done. We're preserving our fruit, we're preparing, we're fortifying, and then come winter, it's a little bit of a hibernation. And then spring, again, we burst out and there's all this energy and we're doing, and it's always a busy time for me as a teacher, for my son in school. And then summer, we let it all go again. It's forgiving. It really is a greater balance when we can tie into the seasons.
I love what you're saying, because what I'm getting is that balance doesn't have to look the same in each season in the year, but also of our lives. So what looks balanced in the summer is going to look different than what balance looks like in the winter. And the same as balance as a brand new mom with a 2-month-old is going to look very different than what balance looks like with a 7-year-old.
Yes, very different. The seasons of our life, the seasons of the earthly seasons, 4 seasons, and there's so much more. I'm right now in a season of rest, and that's different for me because I'm a busy bee. But my body, I listened and it says it's time to rest for a while. So usually summer I'm hiking and paddling and riding my bike everywhere, and I'm being a little more restful because this is a season of rest for me. So there's a lot of spinning plates.
Yes.
To remember that you are the creator. And when I mentioned at the beginning this scale, if you think that you're the fulcrum and here are these two sides of the scale, what you want to put on one side is really your values, your family values. What does that intention look like? So that when things land on this side, like birthday parties and activities and camping trips, you can just really feel into it, go inward and feel into it and weigh it out literally and say, that's really not in alignment, so I'm going to say no. Or if it feels right on, then yes. So really seeing ourselves as the center of that scale.
And being intentional includes really knowing what your values are.
Knowing what your values are. It does take time, and it's so important to constantly name it. I have these 2 online courses, and it's all about naming your value and aligning your family rhythm with these 2 things. It's so important, and it's so transformational when you can do that, because sometimes we just get lost in this imbalance, and what's the saying? It's like the tail wagging the dog.
Yes.
And we need to be the dog wagging our own tails.
Yes. So we'll include a link to both of those courses here.
Great,
so that, the women watching can participate. Also, I just want to encourage you right now, mamas, to consider what your maybe top 3 values are. And if you have a piece of paper or your journal or even a scrap of paper close by, just, consider writing them down and then sitting with that and letting it percolate. And then you can make these decisions based on this beautiful balance that you've described for us. Thank you for that image.
Yeah. And I'll share one of our values, our family values. It's often number 1 is timelessness, this feeling of timelessness. And I think everyone knows how delicious that feeling is, where you're doing something and you don't have to look at a clock. There's nothing waiting, that's, we have to get here at this time. You can just be totally present. And within that timelessness, we feel our greatest connection to each other. So for us, we often weigh out, what does it really give this feeling of timelessness? And that's really a guiding feeling for our family. So yeah, I would love if folks are watching, if they want to comment, what is that feeling for you? I love to hear what what people come up with. So.
I know, I would too, because values are going to all be different, you know. Timelessness may resonate with someone and someone else may resonate more with being on time is my top value.
Yeah.
So we're all different and we're all going to create a life that is going to be in alignment with our values.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and taking that value into a week. So we've thought about the season, and now, taking that into a week, because that seems very nuts and boltsy, especially for parents. Taking that value into your week and maybe writing out an affirmation or an intention for your week. And every week is going to look different. I know for me, being a teacher, May is cuckoo bananas for me. So all of May, I'm saying I am grounded, I am calm, I am working at a doable pace. So thinking of those times for you, and really I always say start with the heart. So start with the heart, set that, cast that intention, and then move into it. So your week, your week is going to hold things like, well, if you start with your heart first, you put in the things that are going to really give that feeling to you. So you may want to create time for movement and exercise, time for rest, time that you are unplugged, time that you are swinging in the hammock, time to really just ground. And then fun time. We always want to have more fun. So what does that look like? We have a community volleyball game every Wednesday. So I block off Wednesday nights, or having picnics. That's something we really enjoy as a family, is picnics. How am I caring for myself? Where can I put that in? And when do I want to connect with my community? Because that's important to us as well. And how is that going to look? And then, of course, the practical things. When are we going to work or school, activities, swim lessons, writing those things down, and really coming out and looking at with like a Hawkeye view, and looking at the week and saying, that's too busy. And then making adjustments. Something else that I find is really wonderful for the days of the week, and this is something I love to share with new moms especially, is breaking down your home care, also known as chores, breaking down your home care into 7 days of the week, and just doing one thing each day, so you don't get overwhelmed with, I have loads and loads of laundry and dishes and everything's gross. If you just do one thing each day, let's say for 20 minutes, your house actually stays pretty tidy. I mean, there's going to be times of mess, but just one thing. For instance, we have vacuuming and sweeping day, and washing the sheets day. So all of these little things, having one thing a week, because what we do so much of the time as women is we take on too much, and that's when we feel imbalanced, is that one side of the scale is plunked over with our to-dos, and it's not matching at all with our to-bes. So that home care one day a week is really a great tool. And also, if you write it down, if you have a plan, partners are so much more willing to participate when it is out here and not coming from you. Something I've noticed.
So not micromanaging.
Yes.
And for the kids too, I think it helps them to know, depending on ages, right?
Yeah.
Know, okay, today is sheep washing day, or
yes, we want everyone to participate, so it's not falling on mothers. Yeah.
And also, for me, that involves demonstrating everything that mom does.
Yeah.
Like, look at all these things that mom does in a day. So much of motherhood is done in isolation and is not seen. So putting it out on paper, we get to see it. So we get those, gold stars, but we also let our partners see it and our kids see it.
It's really important to be witnessed and see the unseen work of motherhood. It's very, very important.
The work and the art, which is what you have really claimed, and I love that. It's really an art to be able to create these beautiful lives. And it's a science, but we get to add our flourish to it.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, but it's the how that is the real creative part and often gives the sustenance to keep going. Is when we really can see it as an art in a unique way that we're moving through life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll just go right down to daily.
Okay.
And finish up with some daily. So daily rhythm. I feel like this one's really easy to see as well. It's all about polarities. We're awake, we're asleep, we're working, we're playing, we're having more still quiet activities, we're doing more outward activities. So it's this breathing. So this daily rhythm is all about breathing in, breathing out, having more inward activities and then the outward activities, being alone, being together. And this is where I love to weave in ritual. This is a big part of our life, and I just feel that it is such a gift to create these little tiny moments of connection, moments of just being fully present, and kind of like laying a stake down and saying, here's what just happened and here's what's going to happen next. So, we all wake up, every person. We all wake up, we all eat, we all go to bed, we all get outside. There's things that we all do every day. And it's how we do them that makes us unique. And this is where we can really step into that, creating our family culture and our family memories again. So, how do we sit down at the meal table? Do we have fresh flowers? Do we light candles? Do we say a blessing? No judgment. However it is great. Just how is it different for you? And to maybe just take a pause, even if it's just a deep breath before a meal or giving thanks. Taking these little pauses, it just has this little drumbeat, this rhythm through the day to have a pause to connect with what you're doing. So for us, we have morning squeezes. My son loves to be like squeezed in the morning. I feel like he's just coming back into his body. That's a rhythm for us. In the summer, we have an after dinner walk, which is really wonderful. We do some listening to the bird song at that time. And also for parents, especially mommies, these little mini moments through the day of caring for ourselves and making it easy. For instance, we all wash our hands throughout the day. So what about putting a little hydrosol there, or a little blessing card or a poem, something that you're there, you wash your hands for 20 seconds, pause, take a breath, give yourself a little spritz, or read yourself something inspiring that touches your heart, because we're doing this really wonderful work, caring for human beings. So finding that balance in the day. And sometimes you can look at those crunchy moments that happen and you can just peel back a layer. What came right before this crunchy moment? And was it too much outward or too much inward? Look for that balance, that breathing, and arrange your day so that it feels like a breath, and in and out, in and out. So that's the season, the week, the day, the rituals, and beneath it all is really creating our family culture and owning our art of mothering.
Yes. I feel like I want us all to just take a deep breath and take it all in. This was such amazing wisdom that you've brought to us. Thank you, Kerry, so much. Is there anything else that you want to leave us with before we say goodbye?
I think just taking a small step. If rhythm is brand new to you, just find one thing one thing, if it's something in the season, something in the week, or something in your day, one small thing that you can bring into your family, and think of it as a drumbeat. Think of this one thing that you're going to bring each day. If you need support, check out motheringarts.com. There's tons of stuff on rhythm. This has been my work for over 15 years, and there's lots of support available to you.
And her website is so beautiful. I just recommend you checking it out. Even if you've got a real handle on rhythm and balance, she's got a wealth of resources there. So check out motheringarts.com.
Thanks, Belle.
Thanks, Kerry. I'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.